Turn out the lights. This isn't safe listening. This is Scream Freaks, where horror classics bleed, modern nightmares get ripped apart, and no movie escapes judgment. I'm Fabulous B. No mercy, no filters, just horror.
So once I was able to, get my composure back, I looked the dude right in the face. I said, I am 100% certain that's not what the holes in the wheel of a Swiss cheese is for. So,
I hate it whenever you have to go to a neurologist like that.
yeah. Needless to say, I won't be eating any melts at his house.
Yeah. Oh, hey, everybody.
Oh, shit. I didn't know you had pushed the button yet.
Oops. So,
Thank God they didn't get that beginning part.
I know. One of these days we're going to get this. I mean, we're on episode 11 now. Holy shit. So, anyways, today, this is Scream Freaks episode 11, which we're going to once again be doing a full moon review of a werewolf movie.
I love my werewolf movies.
And you also love Stephen King movies,
Yes,
which this
do.
happens to be both of those.
And again, this is another situation where I both read the book and watched the movie.
Yeah. So, diving right into it, this movie came out in 1985. So, if by any means you feel the need to, that you don't want to be spoiled for this movie, too fucking bad. This movie is what? 40 years old?
Yeah, you've had plenty of time to watch it.
Yeah, 40 years old, and we are not going to apologize for any spoilers that you may hear.
Yeah.
Anyways.
We gave you a head start.
We did. So, we had Corey Haim was in this movie. Yep. We had Gary Busey was in this movie. This movie, of course, focused on a small town. I don't even remember where.
Tarker's Mill.
Tarker's Mill.
Tarkers.
Nice. So
it's part of the old Stephen King, universe, Castle Rock, Derry,
Okay.
All those places. They're all bordering counties, whatever.
Right. Yeah, just a small town. Yeah. So anyways.
Where the worst shit happens.
Exactly. You would think that the person that wound up being the antagonist in this movie would have been somebody you could turn to.
Yeah, this is true.
So, without, you got the little boy that was disabled, he was essentially the silver bullet, had the motorcycle that was made for him by his Uncle Red.
Yeah, ironically, after I said reading the book and the movie, the kid, he's like one of the main, characters, one of the main focuses of the movie. Yet in the book, he was not like a main character. He got mentioned at one part in the beginning, you talk about him, and then you don't hear about him until later in the movie.
Really?
Yeah, or in the story. Yeah, he's not like the.
I to tell you the truth, now that I really look at it, it was mainly narrated by the sister. So I'm gathering it was more the sister's story than it was.
No. Just it was. I mean, there was a lot of different characters. He wasn't that main guy. Okay. But in the book, he was the one, in the end who shot the werewolf and all that shit.
Right.
But yeah.
So this werewolf goes on this murderous rampage, kills one of the little boys, like his best friend.
Yeah.
Rips him from pieces, and then of course the town has to get together and go on this wolf hunt. Which I have to say, there was one part whenever they're in the fog.
Yeah.
And that the bartender guy breaks out his bat, the peacemaker. And he starts beating on the wolf, and then the wolf takes the bat. And you see the wolf's hand pop up and start beating the guy.
Yeah.
I'm laughing my ass off because you don't see that too many times in a horror movie. So I remember feeling the emotions that I had whenever I was a kid. Watching that movie for the first time, it was scary as fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I remember shaking to my core. I didn't want to see the wolf. In my adult age and, you know, being desensitized to horror movies, essentially, I was laughing like a motherfucker at this
Yeah, there
movie.
was some comedic elements to it, You know, talking about the werewolf itself, that when filming began for that, the werewolf costume had not been created yet. It wasn't completed till towards the end of production, and a lot of most of the scenes where it was needed were done as reshoots.
Really?
Yeah, and the producer Dino De Laurentiis, he was very unhappy with the look of the suit. He didn't like it. He thought it didn't look menacing enough.
I kind of
Um,
concur with that
but it
statement.
was made with real bear fur.
It was made with real bear fur.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
All
the
right.
head was like animatronic.
Yeah. I mean, it was, once again, you know, the Michael Jackson werewolf from the Thriller music
Mm-hmm.
video, in my opinion, was probably one of the better
Yeah.
werewolves of the time. I remember just laughing at the movie, especially knowing what we know about, you know, Gary Busey now. You know, I'm looking at my 11-year-old as we're watching the movie together, and you know, I started talking in my best Gary Busey impersonation. He's like, "I'm not scared of no werewolf."
Well,
Yeah.
another little fun fact about the Uncle Red character, that John Candy was originally set to play Uncle Red, but
Oh,
he
okay.
backed out due to scheduling conflicts, so the role went to Gary Busey.
Wow.
It would have been a little different with John Candy playing Uncle Red, I think.
I think so too, especially with like I didn't really see John Candy as a um too much of a serious character.
But if you think about Uncle Red, Gary Busey, even in that, he was, there was some comedic elements to him. I mean, most of your laughs
Yeah,
seem to come from, Uncle Red and his
right,
antics and whatnot.
right. Now, I mean, all in all, I mean, you don't really pay attention to the mom and dad. The mom and dad go away on vacation.
Yeah.
You know, especially like I don't know. As a parent aspect, I don't think I would have been. I wouldn't have been excited to go on vacation if there was multiple murders happening in my town. You know,
Yeah.
be like, no, I'm
But
not gonna go.
the other thing too is I said in the book, this story actually takes place over the span of like an entire year, where in the movie it's just several months. It's just basically from spring to autumn,
Oh, okay.
which is another little difference from book to movie.
Yeah.
They kind of condense stuff down.
I think that a lot of Stephen King stuff does that because I know that that was the same thing in an upcoming episode that we have with Christine. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Christine was another, you know, it took a span of like a year where, you know, or more where he was working on his car, you know, fell in
Mm-hmm.
love with the car. And
Right, right.
so, I mean, that was a long time coming, but it made it seem like it was just in a span of like a week.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. The the director for this movie, his name was Daniel Attias. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Attias, but this was his only movie directing credit. The only theatrical film he ever did. Before and after this, he just did like TV shows.
Wow. Wow,
So
that's crazy.
he was a one and done with this one, but it's it's a classic.
Yeah.
It's
You know, I've seen that there's quite a few directors that they make their, you know, directing debut and then they just disappear into the wind.
yeah,
Um, I mean, I understand that, you know, Hollywood will do that to some people, you know, just, you know, chew you up and spit you out, especially if you're not, you know, getting good reviews on your first
hmm
showing, which I don't believe that Silver Bullet really got a whole lot of really good reviews.
I don't I don't really remember what the reviews are, but obviously it was probably there was a lot obviously at the time because American Werewolf had already come out,
Right.
The Howling had already come out, so those are two big like werewolf heavy hitters, that you're being compared to, and I think the story was good, but I think where they probably, it was the costume, the look of the werewolf. I think it might have been something that hurt it at the time, because again, like you even
Right.
said, and like the the producer wasn't happy with the look of it.
Right.
So I mean, that could have been it, but I mean, story wise, I thought it was kind of cool.
I mean, I did like, the stalking aspect of it. You see it in the dark as versus in the light,
Yeah.
it was completely different.
Well, part of the reason for that is because they didn't have a werewolf costume, so they
Yeah.
kind of had to do, kind of goes along with like, say Jaws.
Yeah.
How much of the job they had to alter? They did that POV kind of thing because the shark, itself wasn't working, and they had such issues with it. So there's not a lot of the shark per se in that movie. You could just see, like I said, through its perception. So
Right.
that's kind of one of the reasons why they had to do some of that because they were having to film stuff without a werewolf costume available.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of, there was some inconsistencies with the movie, like, the little boy going out and shooting off fireworks off the bridge, and, I understand why they needed to do that, because, I mean, essentially the movie would continue to go on and on and on without some kind of determining factor of this is who the werewolf is.
In the book, that did happen in the book. Only difference is he didn't like go down the road and shit to some bridge. He snuck out the house and is in his actually in his backyard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I mean,
the creature, the werewolf, come from the out of the woods or whatever wood line there by his house.
Right. Right. And like we said, we don't give a shit about spoilers here on this, because like we said, 40 years, this movie's, it did kind of, I mean, back then as a kid, it surprised me that it was the priest that wound up being
McGill.
Yeah.
It's his real name. People Under the Stairs.
Yep.
A lot of people know him from.
Yep.
He played Reverend Lowe, but he was also the actor that was in the werewolf suit.
I heard
He
that there was a black guy that played that.
There was, they had someone at first, and he was a classically trained like dancer and all that. And they brought him in, because
Right.
they figured he did the movement. But again, producer Dino De Laurentiis
Okay.
was not happy with his movement and how he did. So Everett McGill put the suit on, and he was the version that you see in the movie is actually, him in the costume.
Okay.
Also, early versions of the script had the werewolf being able to speak, but that was later changed.
Yeah, I don't think that it would have gone over very well.
Him being able to talk.
No. I mean, it's like, you want a biscuit? You want a biscuit?
Exactly.
Speak.
And the scene where when he does come to the house and he busts through the wall.
Right.
That was actually not rehearsed, and it was done in one take. So, like Gary Busey's reaction, his shock and surprise, was genuine. It was authentic.
Okay.
Because they hadn't rehearsed it, they hadn't done it, so he didn't know when it was coming,
right,
until it came.
Okay.
So,
I mean, there's a lot of actors that from that movie that, of course, we know that we lost Corey Haim. Mm-hmm. Then. I mean, we know the health concerns with Gary Busey and stuff. I think that even the daughter, I think that she stopped acting shortly after that movie as well.
I don't know. I mean, really, the only three, major, names in it was Corey Haim, Gary Busey, and then Everett McGill. Like I said, he went on to do a lot of stuff. Some of the other people, you would see them in various movies here and there, but they just play like small roles, like the guy who ran the gas station.
Yes.
You see him, he's in a lot of other stuff, but, just bit parts.
Right.
Nothing. Well, I know, I take it back. The sheriff in the movie.
That's right.
He did go on to do other things. Most famously, he was John in Lost.
Yes,
John
he was.
Locke.
Yep. Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, like we invited Ethan to be on this particular episode, but Ethan himself had never seen the movie.
Yeah. trust me, we'll hold it against him. Mr. Ooh, Ethan Wolfson. Never even watched Silver Bullet.
And unfortunately, unfortunately, my therapist is coming in for American Werewolf in Paris.
Nice.
So, yes, maybe I can get the Winnie the Pooh costume on her then.
Good times. Good time. I stood in line on Christmas night
in a Winnie the Pooh costume?
To see American Werewolf in Paris when it came out.
Okay. Yeah, that's also coming up on another full moon.
Nice.
So, yeah.
You know, another quick little fun fact, because you mentioned when the mob gathered, in the bar before they went out to hunt the werewolf, that the bar, it was called Owen's Bar, right? That's where they gathered. And that was actually named, Stephen King named it after his son, Owen.
Oh, okay.
That's where the name Owen's Bar.
Right
and then we also mentioned, how we were talking about other movies and other towns, being adjacent to Tarker's Mill, dairy and all that. In the movie, they mention a cemetery called Harmony Hill, and that actually is a direct reference to the book Salem's Lot.
Oh, Salem's
Lot. Which was also written by Stephen King, obviously.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yep.
I mean, wonder if there's a lot more, mentioned for that we just maybe have missed.
Well, Stephen King, he does that in a lot of his movies and books. He mentions other stuff. Things. It happens often.
I love little Easter eggs like that. Whenever directors or filmmakers, authors, they make mentions to other, work that they've done.
Yeah.
I mean, it just kind of creates this overarching atmosphere for everybody. It's like, oh, so let's go and check out that book now or that movie now to see if that has
Which, if you're wondering, the name of the book that this came from was called Cycle of the Werewolf.
Okay.
I actually own the book, so if you wanted to ever read it.
Yeah. So that it didn't actually come from a movie called Silver Bullet then.
Nope.
See, that's something else that I didn't know.
There is also obviously I doubt most people, 99.9% of them probably don't know this. There is a direct connection from Silver Bullet to American Werewolf in London. Do you recall the scene when the woman who was going to kill herself, she's taking all the pills and the werewolf busts through her window and kills her?
Yeah.
The growl, the snarl that you hear just before it comes through the window was taken from American Werewolf in London. It's the same snarl growl that they used in that movie. They just reused it in this movie.
Oh, wow.
Just that one part. But that's a snarl from American Werewolf in London.
So see, kids, a lot of these rappers that sample, other people's music, you can't really fault them because they were doing that in movies back in the 80s.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's fantastic. So
one thing though about this movie, because I know Stephen King likes to make cameos in a lot of his movies, I don't recall ever seeing him. I don't think he was in this at all.
I don't think so either. To tell you the truth, now that I think about it, he also wasn't. No, he was. We discussed that.
You're thinking
Maximum Overdrive with
he was
the
at the bank
ATM.
ATM.
Yep. Where the street sign was saying "You're an asshole."
Mm-hmm.
But this movie, I had to rewatch because I remember just how scared it made me as a kid.
Yeah.
And to watch it with my youngest son and to watch his reaction, he didn't have nearly the same reaction that I did whenever I was his age. I mean, they see scarier shit on YouTube.
Right. That's what I'm just saying. That kids nowadays are so desensitized to shit that, things. I mean, I can remember a time as a kid, with the creature from the Black Lagoon scared the piss out of me. I watched it from behind a chair.
Yeah.
Peeking around the corners.
I will tell you this much too. In